Okay, many people have posted on Facebook and YouTube conspiracy theories and urban legends and things like that. Now here's the thing, some of them I laugh at, some of them I think maybe. A lot of them I just have to say, where did you get this from? Why are you repeating it? Because 90% of the time, it's a story that's controlled by this person and that person and it just comes from. So, let me tell you what I do. I in my hobby, I'm a historical scientist. I try and figure out what happened at this point in time, this time, when it happened, where it happened, who did it, like that. By the way, you wonder why I'm looking over there because I got my wife over there listening as well. Okay, so how do I do this? Well, I'm going to explain how I do it and why I think you should do it the same way. Now, I'm going to take the urban legends I've seen and I don't even want to get into them, but I'm going to get into something very simple. And I'm going to use it as an example. Did Robin Hood exist? Well, we have three different ideas about Robin Hood. All the stories that are in the Robin Hood stories are true. Oh yeah, everything's written about Robin Hood too. It all happened, so be it. And people believe it. Well, I'm going to guess that the majority of people will say, no, there's exaggeration. Now, the stories of Robin Hood are placed modern day into the 1190s. This is about 900, almost 800 years ago. And they're placed in time of Richard the Lionheart goes on a crusade, which we know happened. And he went on a crusade. Robin Hood, in some legend, goes with him as a nobleman, Robin of Locksley, and ends up coming back before Richard does. Ends up being outlawed by Prince John, who's going to become King John later. And we have the story of Robin Hood fighting in Sherwood Forest for freedom for King Richard. Well, it sounds good, but where's the archaeological evidence? Where's the historical evidence? There. So, do we just say, oh, Robin Hood didn't exist? See, it's just a story. Well, I was taught that actually when I was younger. But I don't believe that. For a simple reason. First of all, I'm going to try and put this to you very quickly. The name Robert, which is actually a French name, the name Robert, which is where we get Robin Hood from, couldn't have been known. Now, we're going to go on a little bit of a tangent here. Maybe Robin Hood existed. Let's just see. Robin Hood didn't exist. It's not true. We're going to wipe that out for a moment and just say, what if he existed? We'll be looking at two different ways. If he was there after 1066. Why do I say that? Because in 1066, William the Conqueror, a Norman from France, conquered England and made it a French province, well, a Norman province. And what sort of name did they have? Robert. Robert. Was it Robert? No, Robert. That was a French name originally. And Robin Hood, it basically comes from a French name now. So it has to be after 1066, which slightly agrees with the traditional story, but doesn't prove it, obviously. So, if there is a historical Robin Hood, we should be able to look back in the text from that time, and there were people that could read and write. The noblemen and others could read, they could write. So there should be something that should tell us that. Now, first, before we do that, let's go to the Robin Hood legend. When were they written? The earliest Robin Hood legends we have come from 1450, about to 1500, somewhere 1450 to 1500. Now notice, how far away is that from when they say this happened? About 300 years. Oh, don't worry about that. That's only 300 years ago. There were no white people living here. That's pretty bad. I mean, that's not very good history first of all. So, but one thing they do say, they all say this, the earliest stuff, say Robin Hood was an archer, he shot a bow and arrow, he opposed the Sheriff of Nottingham, and he was a marionette, which I'll talk about in a minute, and he lived in Sherwood Forest. And Edward was the king at that time, by the way. It's also, it's not always Richard, sometimes it's Edward, which is important. Well, what can we do with that? Well, we can't really do too much about it, but we have to notice something. Who were his companions? Who were Robin Hood's companions? Little John, Master Miller's son, and Will Scarlet. Not Will Scarlet. Will Scarlet. I know some people today in modern movies have them with red things that they call Will Scarlet, but actually it's Will Scarlet in the original stuff. Firetuck, Mimir, and Allendale, not in the original story. They come a lot later, so I'm just about to write all three of them off. Now, do we have any evidence from that time? Yes, we do. In 1226, there was a guy named Robert Hood. Notice that's 1 O, not 2 O. Robert Hood. He lived in York, which is very near Sherwood Forest. Today it's a big city, but back then it wasn't a big city. He was an outlaw too. And as a matter of fact, this is the guy most people think, most historians say, might have been the historical Robin Hood, but there's a problem with this, so we'll get into that in a second. Robert the Locksley. Oh, Robert of Locksley, that was his area he ruled, right, when he was a nobleman. Actually, all that means is that he's Robert the Locksley, he's from that area. That's all it means. Doesn't mean he ruled. He's from there. When he's from way up in 1245, he lives in 12 Yorkshire. It's almost the same place. A Robin with a Y, Hood, that's an E, that's Old English, was employed by Edward II, that's way up in 1326. That's a lot later. So we have three guys. But do we? What if this Robert Hood was also Robert the Locksley? I don't personally believe that, but it's possible. Because that's only 20 years apart or so. So, we have three people that could be Robin Hood. Now, you say, well, the earliest stories are from 1450. How could they get from it at least to the 100, 200 years to become what they are today? Very easy. Because stories weren't written down. Spoken. Spoken. Unspoken, and somebody speaks to somebody else, and there's a song. The song goes to somebody else, the song goes to somebody else, the song goes to somebody else. And some of them are right, but most of them are going to be different. So by the time we get to 1450, we have he's an archer. Well, I'm not going to even talk about that. Whether he was an archer or not doesn't bother me. You oppose the Sheriff of Nottingham. Well, if he's an outlaw, if he was an outlaw, he's opposing the Sheriff of Nottingham. He's not an outlaw. He's a marionette? I doubt that. Marionette is somebody within the Catholic Church that worships Mary. No, unless he's this guy, unless he's in a high court, he's not going to be in that sort of circle. He lives in Sherwood Forest, that's likely. Not. That is three other things that I have to deal with. Firetuck written into the story simply because they needed somebody good in the fire. May Million, she's obviously written into the story because they needed love life, they needed somebody in the royal court, nothing more. Allendale, the last person written into the Robin Hood story, and he's just supposedly the guy that sung all this and told it exactly as it is. That is a classic stupidity, because nobody would do that. So, no. Now, the Robin Hood tree, there's a tree that there's a tree that's in England that's called the Robin Hood tree. I'm almost done. There's a tree in England called the Robin Hood tree, and people say, well, that's the tree that Robin Hood played in. Don't you understand? It's called Robin. Yeah, that's the typical legend. That tree, if it had existed even in 1200, it did exist in 1200. You know what it was? It's about the size of my Hollisville side, about 20 feet tall. So Robin Hood stood up on a 20-foot tall branch and spoke to people. I don't believe that. That's the stuff. Now there were two Edwards, Edward the First, the King of England, 1239 1307. He basically demonized in the movie Braveheart. That's not accurate, but that's a possibility, and that's actually when I was playing Robin Hood. Edward II, the guy that we know employed a Robin Hood. You know what I think about this legend? Just somebody. I think there are two Robin Hoods. There are two people. An outlaw, Robin of Locksley, guy that's employed by the story come together, merge. Somebody tells the story. This guy tells the story of a guy. Oh yeah, I work for Robin. He's employed by it. This guy tells the story. Oh yeah, you heard the story of Robin Hood from. He's an outlaw. That was decades ago. And the two stories meet. Two guys singing the song. Oh, and let me compare my nose for sure now. And they moved them. And then the story. Okay. But by the time we get something written down, well, what's the story going to be like? Well, it's going to be something, and then people add to it, maybe million five times. And so we get the modern story of Robin Hood, and we say, yeah, that's Robin Hood. Well, it's sort of like your urban legend. You have to say, it's about like your urban legend. I believe that sometimes there is a historical truth behind it, but many times there isn't. The one somebody posted a few weeks ago, which I'll finish off with, Choking Doberman, is you actually look at it, if you actually do any research, like I just done, as you look behind it, you find Choking Doberman story went around in the 1850s as a choking cow. So it's not an original story, it's been passed on from over 150 years ago, and it's not accurate at all. It was just a story and it's gone on forever. Thank you very much. My wife doesn't want me to continue this video because she got bored. No, I'm just kidding. She hasn't got bored. She's just worried about herself. So thank you very much. Have a good night.